Hey everyone, it's Carla from Carla's Cakes and welcome to Carla in the Kitchen. Today's a very special day because it's a Christmas holiday special episode. We're making a gorgeous Christmas checkered cake on the inside with beautiful candy canes on the outside, and we're making some really cute matching cupcakes for the cake. Let's get started. Okay, so let's put together our super cute and checkered Christmas cake. To start off, I have made 2 batches of my vanilla buttercream and 2 batches of my vanilla cake. And what I've done is I've split up my cake batter into 3 bowls, and I've put a nice big blob of green gel food coloring. I'm using gel because if we use liquid, it will make my batter way too liquidy. So I want to use gel. So I'm using gel. I put red as well, and I did put white because although this is a white cake, if you add white food coloring, then it makes it even more whiter, and it'll make the whole look of everything at the end look really awesome. So if you can get your white food coloring as well, then do that. And if not, it's okay because it is pretty much a white cake anyways. You can get the gel food coloring at any kind of cake supply store, and they should have some white there as well. So I have 3 spoons because I'm just going to mix this up. I'll just show you quickly how this is done. So I'm just going to mix up my white here, just like this. And that looks good. So you can see how the beigey kind of white that we had earlier is now turning into a nice brighter white. And when this bakes, it actually does look so much more beautiful. And you know what? You can actually use this white food coloring when you're making a vanilla cake anyways, whether it's a Christmas cake or not, because it does make it more white, and it's really, really such a nice color. Let's do our red. So with the red, I always try to put a little more of the red gel color in there, because if you don't put enough, sometimes it'll look more like a pink, especially because you're starting off with a lighter base. So I put kind of double of what I would put for anything else. If you noticed, I had a bigger blob of red gel food coloring in this bowl here. All right, so that looks so nice. Oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. I love it. And let's finish off with our green here. So I put a nice amount in here, and we'll just stir it really quickly. This is a really good arm workout, perfect for Christmas because, you know, in Christmas time we eat a lot, so might as well try and get some extra calories to burn off. So this looks great. And I did set my oven to 350 degrees. I have 3 8-inch pans. We're going to put those in those pans and bake for about 20 to 25 minutes. Again, always check because everyone's oven is a little bit different, and sometimes one oven is hotter than another, so just double check. What you're looking for is when you open up your oven that the cakes are nice and stiff. You can put a knife right into the middle and check that, make sure it comes out clean. So I did, of course, already bake these, so these can be put aside. And we have our beautiful cakes right here. So you can see how the white is so much more white than a regular vanilla cake. And of course we have our green and our red. And I have domed these cakes, so I don't need the top parts here. So I can just remove this. And I'm so excited to show you how to make this checkered pattern. So we can remove that. We'll remove our red. And I'll show you the white part, how it's really such a more beautiful and vibrant white cake. Isn't that so gorgeous? I love how this looks. So we can just move this aside. I can just put this right in here. And I will grab my white. So what we're going to be doing right now is I have some molds. These are for 8-inch round cakes. You can get this on my website. I will post them for you. And it's basically exactly an 8-inch round cake. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut each cake into 3 different circles. And then we're going to mix and match them. So I'll show you what I mean. So to start off, I have my larger circle, and then I have my medium circle. And I'm going to just cut inside of the the pattern here, just with my knife. I'm going to try and get this as perfect as I can. Just be careful. You can just watch out with the knife since you are using a knife. You can get someone to help you if you want, someone who's around the kitchen maybe. And maybe they can help you hold this down while you kind of just cut around. Being very careful. Just like this. I think that looks good. So let's see if I did a good job here. And perfect. Look, it just comes right out. Be very careful when you're moving this. You don't want this to break. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the center of this one. So I'll just kind of do a little cut around. And let's see how that works. And I'll be very gentle. And there we go. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with my green and my red cake, and then I'll show you how we can put that all together. So I've already cut into my green and my red cake, so I did divide those into 3. So I'll just show you that like this. So I'll just actually move this up here so you guys can take a look at how it all looks. Okay. I love these colors. Oh my gosh, it feels so good to finally be doing something Christmassy. Okay, great. So now what we're going to do is we're actually mixing and matching. So I'm going to put green into my white. I'm going to put my red into my green. So I want to just create a pattern. And then because I already have white, I'm going to put my red. And then this one I would need the white to create the third piece. And then this one I can put my white in the center. And then I can put my green in the center. And there we go. So now we have 3 different cakes, each have 3 different colors. And then what we're going to do is we're actually going to stack them, fill them, and then cover them. And when we cut into these cakes, it's actually going to be checkered on the inside. So when we get back, I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so let's put this Christmas cake together. What we're going to need is, I got some candy canes and I'm going to crush these up because I want to put some on top of the cake when we decorate. I also want to show you my little trick because every time I buy Christmas colored sprinkles from the store, I always find that there's too much white in the sprinkle mix and I want to see more green and more red. So what I actually do is I buy my own. So I buy green on its own, red on its own, and I'll buy a little bit of white and I just mix it together myself. So I'm just going to put everything in one bowl, just like this. And just with a spoon, I'll give it a quick little stir. And that way I have my own version of my sprinkles, Christmas sprinkles. And see, it looks so much nicer because you can see more red and more green versus all that white. Okay, so these look great. So you can see how there's not that much white and more red and green, which is perfect because our cake is pretty white on the outside, so you wouldn't really see the white sprinkles anyways. And I have some candy canes which I've crushed up. You should do this ahead of time so that you can sprinkle it over your cake. Now the best part of everything is we're going to, of course, put the cake together and eventually cut into it so we can see what the checkered looks like on the inside. So I have my Lazy Susan, I've got my cake board, I got an offset spatula, and I have my vanilla icing, and I made a lot of it just in case I need more. So I'll just take a nice dollop and I'll just put it right into the center. Maybe not that much. I'll take some off. And let's go ahead and place our cake. So you're going to be careful when you're lifting these because it's not one cake. There's a bunch of layers. We just have to be gentle when moving them around so that it doesn't break. So that's good. So I'm going to start with a color on the bottom, and then I'm going to put my white in the middle. First, let's just add some icing. Like that. What would be awesome with this cake is using a white ganache. So the same way that we do ganache, you can use white chocolate and create your own. So this looks good. I like to use the white so that you can see when we cut into it, it matches the color theme of our entire cake. Great. And it's okay if it comes out on the edges because, of course, we're going to ice it on the outside, so that will help us put it all together. Now I'll grab my white slice, and I'm going to actually try and see if I can do this. Invert it so that it'll make it a bit easier for when we spread the icing on the top. Make sure that's centered. Looks great. And I'll put more icing in the center. And with my offset spatula, I'll just help the spread. And the Lazy Susan is awesome because while I'm decorating the cake or icing the cake, I can actually just use the Lazy Susan to help me turn everything in the direction that I need it to be instead of me going around the cake or having to move the entire cake. So this is a lot easier. And I love it. It's the best. Okay. Perfect. And for the final touch, let's put our green cake on top. Got to be gentle. Invert and place it on top. Great. This looks awesome. And what's great is when you serve this up for Christmas, people have no idea that on the inside there's actually an extra surprise to the super cute Christmas cake. Okay. Now let's put the icing. Let's put the icing over the cake. And again, using my icing, I'm just going to put it on top and work my way down as we always do. So I'm just actually making a crumb coat like this, just helping it spread. And once we're done this crumb coat, then we'll add the final layer of icing. So the crumb coat, what it is I'm trying to seal in all the crumbs. Because this is a crumbly cake, I want to seal in all the crumbs so that when I finally put my final layer of icing on top, you won't see all the crumbs on the inside. So this part does not have to be pretty at all. Like I said, it's just to seal in all of my crumbs. Now let's use this to kind of clean up my spatula. Now I want to use a different bowl to clean my spatula because if I put the crummy buttercream into here, then when I do the final touches, I'm still going to see the crumbs, which I don't want. So I'm actually just trying to remove as much crumbs as possible. And I'm just doing a quick spread like this. Whoop. And remove any extra. Since we're putting a lot of icing on this cake, I don't want the crumb coat to be too thick because then that's going to be like an icing overload. Great. So let's just get those final corners here. What's great too is with this cake, you can actually put any extra flavor. So if you wanted to make it more of like a peppermint cake, then you can actually add some peppermint flavoring in your cake, and you can even add that in your icing to give it an extra kick of the peppermint, which would go nicely with the candy canes that we're going to put on top of the cake. There we go. So I've added my second layer of icing. I've crumb coated, and then just with my piping bag, I helped myself and I put icing around, and then with my spatula, I made a nice even layer around the cake. So now what we have to do is put some final touches. So with my piping bag, I have a round tip and I filled it with some icing. I think I released all the air. So I'm just gonna see, there, did you see that pop? So that pop was some air that was stuck into the bag. So I just helped it to release because while I'm decorating, I don't want that pop to happen on the cake because then it'll kind of mess it up. So this looks good. I'm just going to add some nice little circles around the cake, and it kind of just looks like snowballs, which is nice. And what's cute with this design is if around the sides, maybe for a different cake, but you can actually do 3 balls and then it looks more like a snowman. If you're making maybe like a Frozen theme or something. So here we go. I'll just put this around the cake just like that. Looks great. And I'm going to add some sprinkles and my candy canes, and then we're done. So I'll just mix this up a bit. Add some candy canes in the middle of this beautiful Christmas cake. You know what? Let's just put all of it. I'll just help it spread with my fingers. Great, and then with my sprinkles, I'm just going to sprinkle these over the sides of the cake like this. And there we go. We have a really cute and Christmas cake. Now, I wanted to keep it white on the inside because I don't want to make it that busy, because when we cut into the cake, that's where all the fun and all the Christmas stuff happens. So when we come back, I'm going to show you how to make some really cute matching cupcakes, and then we'll cut into this cake. Okay, so let's make our Christmas cupcakes. Using the batter that we used for the cake, I left some extra so that we can put those into our cupcake pan and make some matching green and red and white cupcakes. So actually, I'm going to start with my white. I have only 2 ice cream scoops, so I'm going to start with my white because it's okay if my white gets mixed up with the other ones. But if I start with a different color, then it might mix too much. So I'll just quickly put those right into the pan. I'm using a 12 cupcake liner. You can make more or less. Of course, it's always up to you at the end of the day. So that looks great. I'm just going to make an even amount of all of them. And since we used white, I'm going to go and use my red for this one and put those right into the pan. I love using my ice cream scoop because every single time I get a perfect and even cupcake. They're all the same size. Sometimes I used to do it with a spoon, and then you're kind of guessing how much to put in. And there's always one cupcake that turns out to be way bigger than the other cupcake or smaller. And that's not always good. You want them to all be nice and clean and even. So now let's do our green batter. And I have a nice clean ice cream scoop for this one. I mean, you can always go and get 3 different ice cream scoops if you want for this. Why not? But I didn't, so. Okay, great. So into that they go. The oven has been set for 350 degrees. I'm going to put these in for about 20 minutes. Keep an eye on them, though. Every oven is different, so you'll know better with your oven what would work best. That looks awesome. Of course, I made some ahead of time. I'll put these in the oven for now. Perfect. So these are great. So now what we're going to do is decorate them with our buttercream, which we have made for the cake. And using the same piping bag and the same tip, which is the round tip, I will ice these cupcakes. And we have some candy canes. I have 3 full candy canes. I didn't crush these ones because I'm going to put them right on the cupcake. And I have some sprinkles, our homemade sprinkle mix. All right, so using the round tip, I'm just going to make a cute and snowy swirl. Oh, these so cute. I love them. I love Christmas combos. The red and the white and the green looks awesome. So now let's do the final touches. I'm going to add some sprinkles on top of my cupcakes. Like that. Perfect. And we'll add a really cute candy cane right on top of each cupcake. And there you go. We have super cute and super easy Christmas cupcakes, which match perfectly with our Christmas cake. Now, let's cut inside our cake and see what it looks like on the inside. So I have my knife, and I have a nice serving knife there. Okay. Just make a little bit of room. I'm so excited to see what it looks like on the inside. And what's great also, of course, you can always make these cakes with different colors. If you want to use 3 different combos of a different color combo, then that's perfectly fine. So let's cut into this cake and wish me luck. Oh, I'll just move that. That looks good. I'll just wipe my knife because I don't want it to get dirty. And there we go. And are you ready for this? Let's see what it looks like. Wow, that looks so awesome. Oh my gosh, look at all these colors and look at how beautiful the inside of this cake looks. It's a beautiful Christmas checkered cake. It's absolutely gorgeous and I'm so glad it worked out. So thank you so much for watching the special Christmas episode on Carla in the Kitchen. I hope you enjoyed what we made today. Wow, look, it's snowing. This is awesome. I have my Christmas hat so I can stay nice and warm while baking in the kitchen. Have a happy holiday and have a wonderful Christmas. So that's great. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna chop these up really quickly. It doesn't have to be anything perfect. So just with my, see if I can do this. Oh, this might be a bit tricky. We'll try and cut these up. It's more like popcorn candy canes. Oh, so maybe when we come back, I'll show you what the final. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna just crush that. It was hitting me in the face. This is not a good idea. Do you have a hammer?
Oh, we have like a hammer.
Let's use that, and then I can just cover it. Okay, let's do that. Ta-da!
Is that good enough or you smell it?
I think it's perfect.
All right.
The most intense Christmas
So when
episode. Oh my god! It's snowing! Oh, so wow, it's snowing. Wow. You want me to say Christmas miracle? Have a very beautiful holidays, and we'll see you next time.